So what I want you to do with this video is walk you through this research paper rubric. You've been working on the research paper in stages, and those stages, those steps, have really mimicked the writing process. You gathered your sources, you thought critically about your sources in your annotated works cited, then you answered your research question by writing your thesis, you created an outline to organize that information, then you wrote an introduction, and then you wrote a body paragraph. And for each of those stages, you received some feedback from me. And so the hope is that now that you've reached this final stage, the critical stage here of writing the actual paper, you are in a pretty good shape. You know what is expected, you know what you need to do, and you have a pretty good idea of how to accomplish that. So here is the rubric, and it's a very involved rubric. Total point value for this assignment is 65 points. So it does deserve a lot of attention here. And you can see along the margin over on this side, we have the categories, then we have how many points each category is worth, and some of them have multipliers. The body paragraphs, for example, have a multiplier of 4. They're going to make up the bulk of your paper, so they should make up the bulk of the points, for example. Okay, so I'm not going to read each one of these for you. I'm going to post this document on Google Classroom. You can access it and you can take a look at it yourself, but this gives you an idea of what is to be expected. You want to aim for being over here in these categories. So your introduction and your thesis is its own category. You can read here what's expected. Please make sure that you are taking a look at the feedback I provided for both your thesis statement and your introduction on Google Classroom. That's the whole point of doing that, is so that you get that feedback, so that you know what changes to make, so that you do end up over here on this side of the rubric when you start writing, as opposed to on this side of the rubric. Body paragraphs and your organization of information. Look at your outline for feedback regarding this, and look at your post about your body paragraph for feedback regarding this. That'll keep you over here on this side of the rubric. For your research, please make sure that you are incorporating multiple sources into each of your body paragraph. If you have only one source per body paragraph, you're going to end up down here in this range. But by having 2 or more sources showing that synthesis, that connection, that support between and among all of your sources, you end up over in this section of your body of the rubric. Please also make sure that you're adding the connections to the literature within every paragraph, not just mentioning it in the introduction, connecting it in the conclusion, but within each body paragraph you should have that connection back to your literature. This is a big one, your in-text citations. You need a combination both of signal phrases and of parenthetical citations. I'll have another sort of how-to document posted for you on Google Classroom where this rubric will be posted. Mechanics, that's your spelling, your grammar. Please, please, please reread it before you submit it. Just because there's nothing underlined with that red squiggly line, that doesn't mean everything's spelled correctly. Double check it. You do need a works cited page for this, and this is going to be pretty straightforward for you if you've already done your annotated works cited, if you have your sources saved in Noodle Tools. If you have them saved in Noodle Tools, you can just export them into another Google Doc. We don't need the paragraphs here on the works cited page. We just need the citations themselves. And then, of course, make sure that you are adhering to MLA format in your whole paper. You've got the proper heading, it's double spaced, it's Times New Roman size 12. Make sure that it's all MLA formatted. Okay, now the other thing that I want to show you is this document. I want to walk you through this one, and I'll post this one for you as well. These are the common issues that I have seen in these research papers when students have handed them in the past. So this is the descriptor from the highest score. And these are the issues that I have seen. Please make sure that you use this. This is a good way to revise or to edit your paper. So let's say that you've already written it, and please write it ahead of the due date, not the night before. Write it ahead of the due date, and then before you hand it in, compare it to these lists of common issues and go back and revise and make sure that you haven't done any of those. Okay, please make sure you're looking at Google Classroom. Please make sure you're taking a quick look at all of these documents, and please, please, please make sure you are asking if you have any questions.